Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that's going to let you make one super easily. And then you can distribute it everywhere and even earn money doing this. All in one place. And it's free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters. Here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and even edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard.
Ever since we discovered Spotify for Podcasters, it's been really great. Really get the people involved and ask questions and get ideas for new podcasts. So it's really helped us. And I highly recommend you give it a try. So download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you, sir?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got. If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
All right, kids. Listen.
Don't listen to this.
If you're not of age.
What's of age?
Of age is like you can make your own decisions in life without parental guidance. 18,
16?
18. We're not in Atlanta.
Georgia is 16.
We're not in Atlanta. That's what I said. We're not in Atlanta. This is 18 and up. Look,
Atlanta.
We're a bunch of dudes, and we're going to say some really bad words, and probably some things that might offend you. But
don't listen to this.
Can't wait till you listen.
Yeah, don't.
If you're 18 and up,
don't do it.
If you're 18 and up.
Hey everybody, this is Eric.
This is Sean.
What's up, guys? This is Jorge.
Welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast. We are on
Finale.
JFK.
So we're calling this the JFK Conclusions and Theories.
Yeah, how what a great, really great decisive name.
So here's just a disclaimer. If you have not listened to the episodes before, then just stop what you're doing and go back. Listen to part 1, 2, and 3.
Seriously.
Because,
this is going to make no sense. I'm going to be like, these guys are idiots.
Now we're going to talk about basically all the conspiracy theories that exist and what our conclusions are of the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
I believe them all.
So I'm going to start this podcast off with a poll that was taken in November of 2013.
That's
not
too long ago, right?
Nine
years. This poll showed that 61% of Americans believed that Kennedy was killed because of a conspiracy.
See, this is why you're listening.
30% thought Oswald acted alone.
And you know what's cool? If you guys are listening on Spotify, you can leave us a comment. Let us know which side of that poll you're
what
on.
percentage you left.
We are curious, yeah. And so that means 9% said, I don't know.
They're like, fucking no answer.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Who's John F. Kennedy?
9% of the lack of history. Yeah. But anyways, 61% to this, I mean, at least as of 2013, believe that it's a conspiracy.
Shit might be higher now.
Majority.
Might be higher now.
Yeah, that's right. So we're going to start with a couple of the major conspiracies, and then at the end of this, we'll get to our conclusions and solve the murder.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, we're going to solve.
We're going to reopen the case.
Yeah, we're going to solve this. We'll take it to the Supreme Justice, and we'll see what happens.
Yes, it's the Eric Commission.
Yeah. So the first conspiracy that I always just found to be, I don't know, hilarious or great is the Umbrella Man.
Mm-hmm.
So the Umbrella Man is in a lot of the photos.
Yes.
Photos of everybody scrambling on the grassy knoll. Jorge, you were there. You know what the grassy knoll looks like.
And I think we talked about this in the last episode too.
Mm-hmm.
We touched a little bit on the details of this guy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you're there, right? So you stood on the X.
Yes.
Yes. So on to the right of that is this grassy area, and they call it the grassy knoll.
I know, it's just like a hill.
Yeah. So in a lot of the photos, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and then behind him, what's the guy's name again? That was taking the video.
Zapruder.
Zapruder. I was
Zapruder.
Mix up that name.
Yeah.
But yeah. So behind him, there's the guy taking the video,
That's
and the
right.
umbrella man's in front of him. If you watch that video, you'll see what Eric's
There's a
talking
guy.
about.
Yeah, there's a guy. And so on our website, eventually, we'll put up an image of the umbrella man. You know what I mean? You
So
can see it.
you'll have the info for yourself.
But so there's this a man, and he's carrying a black umbrella. Okay,
On a fucking sunshiny day.
This is November in Dallas. It was a sunny day. There's no reason that he should have been having a black umbrella. Exactly,
Just
right?
ridiculous.
He was one of the closest people to JFK when he was struck by the bullet. So he was super close to him. So as Kennedy's limousine approached, the man opened up and lifted the umbrella high above his head. Then he spun or panned the umbrella from east to west as the president passed him.
That's super sketchy.
Signals.
The hell.
So then he was shot. Kennedy was killed. The man sat down on the sidewalk next to another man.
Had a sandwich.
And then he, after sitting there for a while, he got up and he started walking towards the Texas School Book Depository.
Oh, School Book Depository.
So what people are confused about or like concerned about is how calm he was and how calm the man was next to him. And so they just sat there. Anyway, so the idea of this conspiracy is that the umbrella man was the signal caller for either Oswald or whoever killed him.
I see.
So he opened the umbrella and said, pop, 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 that's a shot.
But it's so like dramatic, like the waving it east to west. I'm like, couldn't you thought of like a simpler, just like open the umbrella and that's the sign.
No.
No. I need to shake it.
So, in short, that's the conspiracy of the Umbrella Man. There is another like offshoot of the Umbrella Man, which is that he.
This is like he had like an umbrella gun.
No, this one's crazy, and it's endorsed by a colonel. That's the craziest part. So the Umbrella Man, and this is a little bit far fetched of the Umbrella Man, which is that he used the umbrella to fire a dart to paralyze JFK. So he hit him. So he opened the umbrella and shot a dart and paralyzed JFK. And so that's the part when he grabbed his neck.
But he got shot in the fucking neck.
Yes.
Was he also a sharpshooter?
Seriously, it's a sharpshooter.
Jeez.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Hit a moving target with a dart.
With the umbrella dart gun. Get the
Damn.
fuck out of here.
So it sounds pretty crazy.
I love who's this colonel who's like, oh, this shit's legit.
Honestly, it's Colonel
fucking
Fletcher
dumbass.
Proti. Fletcher, where are you at?
Yeah, Fletch,
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
You're full of shit.
So, but the idea is that he shot him with a dart, and then he
but why
he paralyzed him, and then the headshot came.
Yeah, you know a good way to paralyze someone? Shoot them in the fucking head. Like, you don't need a dart for that. Like, come on.
Okay, so later on in time, there was a journalist named Penn Jones. He was approached by somebody who was named Louis Stephen Witt.
I'm just gonna say sorry real quick. Penn, like being a journalist and your first name is Penn, that's like clutch. Like that's super legit.
So this Louis Stephen Witt, he said that he was the Umbrella Man. And he said that he just wasn't like, he doesn't understand why there's a conspiracy. he's like, I just had
open
an
my umbrella.
Yeah, he's just like, I had an umbrella. And like this was in 1978, and he claimed to be the Umbrella Man. He claimed that he actually did it because he was anti-Kennedy, and it was like a black umbrella, and it was going to be filmed, and he didn't like his dad, which was Joseph Kennedy, and that the reason why is because he was a supporter of of Neville Chamberlain, which was the British Prime Minister, and it was a Nazi kind of like, it was like an old, like I'm going to rebel, and so I'm going to have a black umbrella. I don't want to liken it to Colin Kaepernick, but a very
like that's his way of
protest.
That's his
protest.
That's his way of protesting.
Yes. So this guy says he was the Umbrella Man, and that's why he had an umbrella.
Yeah, because that's the way to show them Yeah. Look at my umbrella. Fuck you, Kennedys.
Yeah.
Arms dealers.
So he testified, and Witt said, "I think if the Guinness Book of World Records had a category for people who were in the wrong place at the wrong time, doing the wrong thing, I would be number one."
Okay, first of all, no, because he wanted to be there.
I
And I thought
but
it
I
was
mean,
a
he didn't know he
protest.
was
I
going to
mean,
get
he didn't know that
assassination.
somebody was going to kill the president.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's like,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, shit.
Watch me protest. And
He's
it's
like,
psh,
I'm going to go to the most
president gets
inconspicuous
shot.
place ever. Book depository. I'm going to go there.
No, it would be kind of, I don't want to liken it to Colin Kaepernick, but it would be kind of like Colin Kaepernick kneeling
But,
with a black
but instead
flag.
of kneeling,
No, and then,
he's got
and then,
he just
and
opens
the
it up.
president was shot at Niner Stadium.
Oh my God.
And he was like, I didn't have anything to do with this.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with this. Yeah. Anyways, that's probably what it. Anyways, so this
Makes sense.
guy Witt, he died about 8 years ago. So,
And all of his secrets died.
so that's the Umbrella Man.
I don't buy that one.
You don't
I
like
know
that one?
I mean,
Well, I kind of buy the last part of it. I think he,
Like
he
he-
definitely
there was a reason, and
Yeah, I
maybe
think-
it wasn't normal.
I
or-
feel like that makes more sense
that makes more
because
sense. He was protesting.
if you have a direct
Yeah.
line of sight to take a shot, like you don't need someone to flail an umbrella to be like, oh, it's go time. I have the shot. Take the shot.
Yeah.
Right.
But did you do any research, like as far as fact checking that that's really a thing, or I don't know, like
what
the whole that's how you protest? You know what
I mean, kind of like you have a black. There's a lot of people
independent fact checkers have approved this.
No, there's a lot of people who would do the black fist, right? At the
you're right.
Olympics.
Yeah.
The
Right,
Olympics.
right.
I forget his name.
It was Jesse Owens.
Yeah, Jesse Owens
Yeah.
did the black fist.
Well, it wasn't
you
the
know.
black fist. He was just black, and it was his fist.
No, he wore a
Okay.
black glove.
Yeah.
Oh, he did. You're
Yeah,
right.
so it was a black.
Okay.
It was a black item.
There's also like you see like the
Yeah.
posters where it's like it's
Yeah,
it's
sure.
the black fist.
All right, so that's the Umbrella Man. I don't know. I think it's pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
I think it's a
dumb.
little far fetched.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool to look at some of the images. So if you
For sure, and I can see
Yeah.
like at the time you look at it, you're like, this is sketchy. This is out.
Yeah.
What's happening here?
Yeah, the
Like,
guy's like randomly with a black umbrella sitting on the curb, you know.
Yeah. It's
and
like
the chaos.
It's like 79
Yeah.
degrees and it's like sunshine. You're like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Well,
okay."
You know, some people are calm in chaos. Like he's just
I know,
probably,
that's
he's probably
true.
like, "What the fuck just happened? Let me."
Yeah.
He's in shock.
Yeah, like everybody's running around. I'm just gonna like chill.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I
All
said have
right,
a
so
sandwich.
that one's dumb. We're all in.
We're all
in
in agreement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're all agreed. That one's dumb. So the next one is, and I call it the Oliver Stone conspiracy.
Yeah.
A majority of the American public, or even worldwide, has seen JFK.
Yeah,
Right,
the movie.
Kevin Costner. The movie.
Dude,
right?
that movie, by the way, has every famous human who's ever lived.
Yeah,
It's got like 30 famous actors, and it's
Real
crazy.
quick, you want to tell them who Oliver Stone is in case they're listening? They don't know.
Yeah, Oliver Stone is probably in history of cinema is one of the most famous directors
yeah.
of all time.
Easy.
Actually,
And then he made the JFK
Yeah.
movie.
he
so-
did. Yeah, so in the '90s, he did a movie called JFK. It's about 3 hours. It starred Kevin Costner, and Kevin Costner played the New Orleans District Attorney Jim Garrison, and Jim Garrison brought forth, I guess you would call it, a conspiracy to assassinate the president.
Yes.
And so it's a good movie as far as
It's
the JFK
it's
and
solid,
like looking into it, but I find, and you guys both saw it, so I find it to be interesting because what he does is he goes and finds all the things that are wrong with the situation.
Yes.
But at the end of the movie, do you actually go, I know who did it?
No.
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 No, not at all.
100%. You're like,
Not at all. And I think that was
Not
the
at all.
point. I think that was the point, was just to get people to think about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was his whole thing of doing it. Is like, okay, think like here's what's wrong.
Yeah.
Think about, is this narrative really what happened?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So in short, essentially, the Jim Garrison was a district attorney for New Orleans, and he wrote a book in 1988 called "On the Trail of the Assassins," and he was the only one who prosecuted somebody for the assassination of JFK.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else brought because Oswald was
Oswald
killed,
got killed. Yeah.
and nobody actually went to court saying this is like I'm charging you with the murder, right? So he did that, and he prosecuted a person by the name of Clay Shaw, right?
Played by Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones,
JFK.
that's right. Yeah. And so it was a fully complicated like conspiracy of CIA and like
So pretty much
like
there's
this.
Clay Shaw was like this. He's like a rich New Orleans guy, and he was involved with these pro communist groups, and then he had also had ties to the CIA, and that he was kind of behind the scenes orchestrating and providing funds to set up this situation.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, we're not going to go over the entire movie.
No, you can just watch it, and then
it basically had somebody, and he was a PI, and his name was Guy Bannister, and he was in New Orleans, and he had an employee named David Ferry, and they say that he was involved with the JFK assassination, and that he planned it. They were heavy drinkers and heavy.
The movie portrays them as like they're having like weird sex parties and shit.
Yeah, like there was a lot going on, and like smoking and crack and like cocaine and
man prostitutes.
Yeah, so a lot of different things. And then on top of it, Ferry was in the New Orleans Civil Air Patrol, and he was in that air patrol with Oswald.
I see.
And there's a photo of Ferry and Oswald together in their teenage years together.
So that's the connection. And one of the 8,000 times that Lee Harvey Oswald moved between New Orleans and Texas, 17 times.
Right. That's right. But I find that kind of like just because you're in a photo, I mean, it is suspicious, but at the same time, it's kind of
doesn't implicate you.
like
everything.
You're
About
just
Lee
in
Harvey
a photo
Oswald
of a
suspicious,
team. Yeah, you're in a photo of a team.
We're coworkers.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Exactly. So
I didn't do it.
Yeah,
another Guinness record of being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Fucking knew I should have joined the air patrol.
Now, what I like about that movie is it does put together different people that maybe we didn't fully go into detail, in the previous episodes, but like how they were all like building this, plot of like working together and how to set it all up. And it kind of made it seem like they set up, Lee Harvey Oswald to take the fall.
It really does. It does kind of give you that vibe. Like he was like the patsy.
Yeah.
And a lot of it comes from where Bannister said something to this guy named Martin, and Martin worked for Bannister, and they were in a bar, and they got into a fight, and it was like a heated argument, and they were like pushing each other. And
you want to go, bro?
Fucking do this. So,
take it outside.
And he said, "What are you going to do? Kill me like you did Kennedy?" And then Bannister drew his .357 Magnum and whipped him.
Oh man, pistol whip, Goodfellas. Yeah. Damn.
So that's like the formation of the conspiracy of like, he must have had something to do with it, and like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean that's a pretty big implication there, especially in a heated fight. Like you say some shit that you're not supposed to say.
Yep.
Happens all the time. Where someone's like, get in a fight with your wife, and she's like, okay. Says some shit you told her in confidence 10 years ago.
Remember that? Like you said, 7 years, 32 days ago.
I know,
20 seconds.
It was 2:22 and 35 seconds.
The other part of this is that Oswald shared 544 Camp Street with Bannister.
They were literally in the same building, but the addresses were different because they were on like it was like the corner of two streets.
Yeah. So I don't know on that point.
I mean,
it's just coincidence, or it's just.
I mean, one can say there is no such thing as coincidence, like when it happens multiple times. Like obviously coincidences do happen, and like there is a thing, but when there's like multiple coincidences within one situation,
right,
it does lead you to believe that like it becomes impossible. It becomes impossible for like
it becomes clues into the
exactly like it's like it just you don't just like happen just randomly we have the same building and this homie got mad at me and said I killed JFK and then he's in this fucking pro Castro shit like it's too many like random things to be random.
But what I don't like is that they kind of give too much credit to Bannister.
That he's like some he's some Sherlock
guy.
Holmes mastermind.
He's literally like a drunk PI who's retired.
It's a dick.
Yeah, he's like a Bruce Willis character from many movies. He's sleeping in his car.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and I'm just like, all right, so he shared a building with him. All right. What does that mean? It's not like you know what I mean?
That's true.
I just don't like it.
I understand.
I just don't
Yeah,
think
but
it's...
then weren't there like other guys that were also connected to both of them?
So in the late 70s, the House Select Committee on Assassinations investigated the relationship between Oswald to Bannister's office. The committee was unable to interview Guy Bannister because he died in 1964, but the committee did interview his brother, Ross. Ross told the committee that his brother had mentioned seeing Oswald hand out the flyers on occasion, but Ross theorized that Oswald had used that address on his literature to embarrass Guy Bannister, and he didn't have an address. He literally just wrote a fucking address on something because he didn't have an address. Remember, he wrote to the main office in New York. Remember that?
Well, they said that they didn't want him to open one, but he opened one anyways.
Yeah,
but then he had an address. Oh, well, he was making what, $1.25 an hour?
He doesn't have any money to do the downtown office.
I don't know. Maybe back in the day, and remember he got that $400 fucking stipend from the government to come back to the U.S. We had a little stashed away.
Maybe he was bankrolled by.
I know. What's his name?
Shaw.
Guy. Yeah. Clay Shaw. Yeah. Clay Shaw was like down payment.
So in 1966, Garrison's investigation led him to conclude that a group of right-wing extremists, which included Ferry, Guy Bannister, were involved with certain parts of the CIA in a conspiracy to kill Kennedy. Garrison would later claim that the motive for the assassination was anger over Kennedy's attempt to obtain a peace settlement in Cuba and Vietnam. Garrison also came to believe that New Orleans businessman Clay Shaw was part of the conspiracy and that Clay Shaw was his pseudonym for Clay Bertrand. Garrison believed that Shaw, Bannister, Ferry conspired to set up Oswald as a patsy to kill JFK.
I mean, see, to me, that makes possibly the most sense because as you probably concluded, listeners, after listening to the last episode, like Lee Harvey Oswald is like, he's like the one kid at the party who like will do anything just to like be cool.
Just to get
Part of
attention.
the
Like literally, they're like, he's like, yeah, you can kick me in the nuts for sure. And you're like, like he's so desperate to be relevant because he's been not irrelevant, and everything he's ever done in his entire life has been like super subpar and like shit.
Yeah.
That like he would be like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna be the man. And they're like, yeah, man, you're the man. And they're like, this guy's a fucking retard. like we're gonna totally got this guy got.
So on March 1st, 1967, Garrison arrested and charged Shaw with conspiring to assassinate Kennedy. On January 29th in 1969, Shaw was brought to trial on these charges, and the jury came to the conclusion and found him not guilty.
Dun dun dun. I mean, it's really
So that's
there is it's all the evidence is like circumstantial. It's not like really like hard. It's like
there's nothing, right?
There's like hard like documents, like
I know there's nothing. Yeah,
But that's what makes it cool. Part of being a conspiracy. It's
I
like,
know.
yeah, because
You
like
know?
you,
But he was
if you
grasping
would've-
at straws. From a legal standpoint, he was grasping at straws.
from a legal
Yeah,
standpoint.
yeah.
But from like a human standpoint, you're like,
Yeah.
I know you did this, motherfucker. But it's like I can't prove it, but I know you did it.
Or at least
It's
you
like one
did
of those
something.
cases.
Yeah, at least you did something.
I kind of go like, because I've seen Oliver Stone even came out with a new documentary later on,
Oh,
and it's like further evidence since new documents were released, and it's a documentary. It's not a Kevin Costner.
no.
It's a docu. Yeah, and he spends a lot of time breaking down the holes that exist in all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
There's quite a few, and that's why I think the conspiracy has persisted for so long because like, there's so
Yeah.
many like
There's nothing concrete. that
okay,
you can be
yeah,
like,
it's like
yeah.
Yeah.
okay, it's just even down to the fact that he used the shittiest gun on earth
I know.
to like shit. It's like the worst possible.
It never ends.
Like, come on. Like,
It never ends.
it's ridiculous. It's hilarious.
Okay. So going forward, right now we went over Oliver Stone's scenario and in the 70s. So now from a history standpoint, RFK, Robert Kennedy, was killed in, I think, 69 or 68-ish.
And Robert Kennedy was the Attorney General.
Yeah, and
of the
he's
United
his
States.
brother. Yeah, that's a whole other one that we're going to do a
good
great
one.
podcast on that. So
Stay tuned
for that. Yeah. Then Martin Luther King Jr. was killed. He was also assassinated. So the government put together something called the United States House of Representatives Select Committee on Assassinations. And this was to dive in further.
Like, how are these keep
what
happening?
the hell is
Like-
going on?
Yeah, more so. Yeah, everybody's getting killed.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yeah, everybody's getting killed. This was put together in 76. It completed its investigation in JFK in 1978. And it issued their report the following year. And it concluded that Kennedy was probably assassinated as a result of a conspiracy.
Wow. See,
Damn.
fucking our shit is like proven by the state.
It's crazy. I mean, they did say
They're
that.
like,
Okay,
You
but
know-
they don't say like what the fuck happened.
Well, because they're probably not allowed to
No,
speculate further.
here's
Like,
the
They
really
don't
weird
give their
part.
speculation.
Yeah, here's the really weird part. And this is where I would love some emails from people.
Please,
right?
I wanna hear
Is
from
What's the email?
info@theconspiracypodcast.com.
All right.
So
Or
actually,
Spotify. You can leave a
yeah.
comment.
So the confusing part to me is that they say at the beginning, or they say in their, I guess, results or their conclusion of investigation, that it was probably a result of conspiracy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then later on, they say, literally, here are the conclusions from the committee. You ready?
Yeah.
They say, Lee Harvey Oswald fired 3 shots at Kennedy.
didn't hit him. Just fired 3 shots.
The second and third shots fired struck the president. The third shot killed the president.
That's it.
Then, I mean, it's just so that I guess what they're saying.
Like-
So later on, they say they do say scientific acoustical evidence establishes a high probability that 2 gunmen fired at the president.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see,
That's
that's
right.
okay. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I
'cause-
remember that.
yeah, 'cause-
They set up. I remember I saw like a video on it. They set up
Yeah.
on the street and like pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
They shut the whole place down.
Yeah.
And they set up all these like acoustic things or whatever.
Oh, to see like that was.
and they're trying to like recreate it, and they're like, no,
It's
not
impossible, yeah.
It's not probable that it was
Yeah.
all shot from.
Okay, so maybe what they determined is they don't know who did it.
That's pretty much what they're saying.
They're
It's
saying
like,
Okay,
they're saying
agree to disagree.
but
yeah,
but they're
they're saying that Oswald did it, but with somebody else.
Yeah, but there was like homie like
Yeah.
who helped.
Then they say other scientific evidence does not preclude the possibility of 2 gunmen firing at the president. Scientific evidence negates some specific conspiracy allegations. So they're saying some of it is bullshit,
But some of it
but
is
some
possible.
of it they can't prove it's wrong.
Yeah, so it's like it's possible that
Yeah.
that happened.
So the committee believes, on the basis of the evidence available, that Kennedy was probably assassinated as a result of a conspiracy.
I see. So it wasn't like a one man show.
Yeah. The committee was unable to identify the other gunmen or to what extent of the conspiracy.
So they're like,
Right.
it was a conspiracy. We just don't know anything else.
But then they keep going, right? So just to nix some of the things, it says the committee believes that on the basis of evidence available, that the Soviet government was not involved.
I would personally agree with that.
Okay.
This is me.
So then the next one, the committee believes on the basis of the evidence available to it that the Cuban government was not involved.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
The committee believes on the basis of the evidence available that anti-Castro Cuban groups were not involved in the assassination, but that the available evidence does not preclude the possibility that individual members of those
said groups.
were involved.
Well, that
Anti-Castro or
Anti-Castro.
because they're like
Anti-Castro
because
Cuban.
JFK was trying to make peace with Castro
Yeah.
to like fucking chill things out.
Right.
And so they're
okay.
like, fuck Castro.
Yes.
You're a sympathizer. You
Yeah.
you got to die too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The committee also believes on the basis of the evidence available to it.
I know, God, it's like seriously, like copy paste. That
the National Syndicate of Organized Crime as a group was not involved.
How the fuck would they know though? Like,
Somebody snitched.
That's what it's saying. Like,
That's how they know.
On the evidence available, which is none.
The Secret Service, the FBI, the CIA were not involved.
Oh,
in
of
the
course,
assassination
of course,
community.
of course. They're like
Come on
they're
now.
like definitive proof
Yeah.
that they are not involved.
I'm not going to throw them under the bus.
The committee further concluded that it was probable that 4 shots were fired. The 4th shot came from a second assassin located on the grassy knoll,
Exactly.
Oh, so they're like saying,
but missed.
oh, they weren't a sharpshooter.
Eh.
We're never gonna let that
The
joke die.
HSCA, which the
don't know.
House of Subcommittee of Assassinations,
Yeah.
concluded the existence and location of this alleged 4th shot based on the later discredited Dallas Police Department recording analysis. So the HSCA agreed with the single bullet theory. So that was the magic bullet where
Where it went through like 7 parts of his body.
Yeah. So they agreed with the single bullet theory, but concluded that it occurred at a time point during the assassination that differed from any several points the Warren Commission theorized it happened.
Really?
So here is a very important part
I see.
Yeah.
to my belief of this, which is, so remember when we were talking about and we were arguing how many shots could you get off in 6 seconds?
In 6 seconds, yeah.
Yeah. That's saying it wasn't 6 seconds.
What is
So, because basically it's saying...
They're saying the
they-
timeline's wrong.
Right.
well, how,
right
what's,
before that,
what's
they
the,
said
it was longer.
they think it was 4 shots.
They think it was 4 shots over a longer period of time rather than 6 seconds where you had to go pop, 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 pop.
No, but my thing is like if they're still theorizing that Oswald shot 3 of those shots, but his window of opportunity to hit him in the back, like at the back, had to be so slim. That car, okay, let's say the car is traveling even
6
5
seconds
miles
is
an
so
hour.
much different than 15 seconds.
I still don't think.
yeah.
I still
Do
don't.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't
Yeah.
think it's 15 seconds. I just don't think the window of opportunity from that vantage point, especially after the first shot, you think like homie would like hit the gas.
Yeah.
Like the driver is going to be like, oh, I must keep going 2 miles an hour. You think he would, maybe I should get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
understand maybe 6 seconds isn't the correct time frame. I still don't believe it would be greatly above that
Yeah.
at all.
So what? You think like
Well,
8
that's-
seconds or something?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But that's what, when somebody comes to me and they say, oh, how could you do
that.
the man liquor in
Yeah.
6 seconds? I'm like, you can't.
It's impossible.
Yeah. But why is it 6 seconds?
I know. I don't know who came up with the 6 seconds.
Yeah,
that's
you
a
know what I
good
mean?
point.
It's usually like audio. Oh, there's a pop, pop, pop on the Zapruder film, or like when were the shots? But then you have delayed. You have a rifle shot and maybe the sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
There's
it's
a
all
lot of-
different.
yeah.
There's a lot of variables.
But I just know that there are protocols in place. I don't know them because I'm not in the Secret Service, but like there are protocols in place for those type of situations. You know, shots fired, like your immediate next act is, okay, I need to escape, like get out, like it's
Well, they did. You know, if you remember, like Secret Service was right behind them. Then they run up to the car, and then they jump on, and they're trying to like kind of protect him at that point. Then they take off. I don't know how many seconds that was.
true.
But yeah, to your point, like it should have happened faster, but it didn't. I mean, first of all, nobody's expecting that. You should be prepared for anything, but
Yeah, you should.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I definitely think there was another shooter.
Fully agree. I fully agree. There's a second shooter.
Yeah.
Who was an actual sharpshooter.
Whoa. Don't jump the gun. Yeah, we're not jumping.
I'm not jumping anything.
jump.
Well, you said 4th shot. I'm just adding.
I mean,
I'm just sprinkling
that's
a
true.
little more to the
Yeah, that's
conspiracy.
true.
That's conspiracy sprinkle.
So they went further and they said the Department of Justice, the FBI, the CIA, and the Warren Commission were all criticized for not revealing to the Warren Commission information that was available in 64.
Ooh, you fucking dicks. Oh.
Then it was determined that the Secret Service was deemed deficient in their protection of the President of the United
Yeah,
States.
no shit.
Well, remember last episode we talked about how the FBI had like homie like in the lobby and they're like, yeah,
Right.
that never happened.
Yeah.
And then they're like, but we have the records. They're like, fuck.
So, and then they talk further about like how, The Secret Service should have come forward more to the Warren Commission, provided more information, more, I guess the word is responsibility of like, hey,
but they just lost
we
the
lacked,
fucking,
we didn't do the right
most
thing.
prized person
Yes.
that they have to like take care of. Like
The
they're so
only person he must
embarrassed.
protect. Like,
Yeah. So anyway, so the HSCA found the FBI and CIA were both deficient in performing their duties.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. That's from the committee.
Yeah, the HSCA.
Yeah, that's from the committee. So it's interesting to see like an actual entity
Be like,
say
hey.
something's a little off.
And it's so funny because like this is a point. Like I do feel like whenever someone hears the word conspiracy, it's instantly like proclaimed to be some far-fetched thing. But like the actual definition of a conspiracy is like more than one person like deciding to do a thing in secret. That's all a conspiracy is. It's like more than one human.
You know what's crazy is
plotting to do a thing.
We've had multiple messages of that's not a conspiracy or whatever, or people talking to us and saying that's not a conspiracy. And so I think we should actually define
I will pull up the Merriam.
what a conspiracy is because it gets a bad rap. It does get a bad rap.
Here's the. I'm gonna give you guys the Merriam-Webster definition. So the definition of conspiracy is a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful. That is the definition of conspiracy, or similar definition: the action of plotting or conspiring. So
to do something
But you said
unlawful.
group.
no, a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful. That is definition of a conspiracy. It's not like crazy far-fetched idea by right-wing extremists. It's not. It's a secret plan by a group.
That's interesting.
To do something unlawful or harmful.
Yeah.
So it means by a group means more than one human. So that's been more than one
probably
person.
more than two. Even.
So Lee Harvey
like a
also
group
and
is
someone
like
else got
3 or
together.
more.
No, but I think a group, you can have a group of two people.
Yeah.
As long as it's not a singular human who's deciding to make an act on their own.
Okay.
That's not a conspiracy.
No, it's not a conspiracy because it's just like, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something bad.
I want to kill him.
I know. Kill him.
Okay, so that's the House committee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next one, the next major conspiracy that exists in the JFK assassination is that the subsequent president, Lyndon B. Johnson, conspired to take him out and become the president of the United States.
I mean, that's the conspiracy of humankind.
Right?
Power,
Yeah.
baby.
So in 2003, there was a poll to Americans that 20% suspected Lyndon Johnson of.
Oh, they're like, I don't trust
20% of Americans.
I don't
That's
trust
a
that
lot.
guy. That's
a lot. Yeah. And they say basically he plotted the assassination because he disliked the Kennedys as a whole.
How did he get to be the
I
VP
know,
then?
yeah.
He was just like smiling and nodding.
And he feared that he would be dropped from the Democratic ticket for the re-election.
Ooh. So he was like, I'm on the
So
outs.
it's 64 was his re-election, but he was killed in
63, yeah.
So he was going to be...
He was going to be on the outs and he loses everything.
So, but here's just some interesting info on this conspiracy is that JFK was seriously considering dropping him from the ticket in favor of Terry Sanford, which was the North Carolina governor. And so that's the main motive behind it. Kennedy's personal secretary, which is her name was Evelyn Lincoln, she wrote a book. And the book was called Kennedy and Johnson. And that President Kennedy told her that Lyndon B. Johnson would be replaced as VP of the United States. And that conversation took place 3 days before the assassination.
Ooh. So maybe he had like the inside scoop and they were like, he was like, oh shit.
So in the diary or the book or whatever you want to say, Miss Kennedy sat in a rocker in the office. Or Mr. Kennedy sat in the rocker in my office, his head resting on its back, and he placed his left leg across his knee. So he crossed his legs. He rocked slightly as he talked.
Man, this is super descriptive.
I know. In a slow, pensive voice, he said to me, you know, if I am reelected in 64, I am going to spend more and more time toward making government service an honorable career. I would like to tailor the executive and legislative branches of government so that they can keep up with the tremendous strides and progress being made in the other fields. I'm going to advocate changing some of the outmoded rules and regulations in the existing Congress, such as the seniority rule. To do this, I will need a running mate in 64 who believes what I do.
See, this is back when like the Democratic Party was actually dope.
Yeah,
I dig
the old.
Dude, this
Democratic
is back when like the Democrats were like the shit.
I agree.
Like,
I agree.
Now I'm like, ugh, but like back then, dude, you could. Those guys were. They had your back. Like JFK gave a shit.
In the 60s, I would be a Democrat.
100%. Me too, dude. I'm not even lying. 100%. I would.
Maybe the 50s even.
100%. I would.
I would have been
because they were like legit.
So Mrs. Lincoln, her name was Evelyn Lincoln. Mrs. Lincoln went on to write, she said, I was fascinated by this conversation. So much fascinated, I wrote it down verbatim in my diary.
Yeah, especially because he's like, I'm your secretary. Why are you telling me this?
Now I asked, who is your choice as a running mate? He looked straight ahead and without hesitating, he replied, at this time, I am thinking about Governor Terry Sanford of North Carolina, but it will not be Lyndon.
Ooh. And Lyndon's got like a glass against the wall, like that motherfucker.
So therein lies. She's the secretary
that's
of
motive.
Kennedy.
That's motive too.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, and it's a big motive because you lose hella
But
power.
do we have any kind of evidence?
This is the evidence.
This is
all we got.
That's just
all
her.
we got.
That's
all
just
we have
her
is
trying to get a
motives.
paycheck.
We don't. Yeah, I know.
No, but
it's a little
anything
sketchy
at all. No, it's just her trying to get a paycheck.
I know.
Man.
You think so?
Come on now.
It's her trying to get a paycheck. Or
You might be right. You might
I'm
be
not
right.
buying that
You
one.
might be right. Yeah.
buying it at
All right. So just the next person. So there's this person named Madeline Brown.
Yeah.
She said she was Johnson's.
What? The like call girl?
Yeah.
Booty call.
Like a little mistress.
Yeah.
No, she didn't. Johnson didn't pay.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah, no, it's freebies.
His secretary paid.
Yeah, freebies. So she says, her name's Madeline Brown. She says,
He was doing a little like pillow talk with her.
well, she basically implicated him in the conspiracy to kill Kennedy.
Oh.
In 97, Brown said that Johnson, along with somebody named H.L. Hunt, had begun planning Kennedy's demise in early 1960. Brown claimed that by its fruition in 63, the conspiracy involved dozens of people, including FBI, mafia, politicians, journalists, all these things. There was a documentary called The Men Who Killed Kennedy, Madeline Brown. Anyway, like it gets real complicated with the oil men, that even J. Edgar Hoover came together and he gave the blessing and he said, okay, let's do it. Yeah. That one's really fucking out there, to be honest. But Brown reiterated her allegations in 2006 in another documentary.
Well, see, the thing about that is like I think the true makings of like the best possible conspiracy, especially if it's true, is to make it seem so outlandish that it won't be believed.
Kind of like hiding in the truth. Right?
Exactly, hide in plain sight. Because it's like,
plain sight,
it's like, how could how could the government actually betray? We love you. It's like, it's so like, they couldn't do that to us.
They would never do wrong.
We're in charge. Are we? That's why I'm always on the side of like, if the government's involved, I'm always like, well,
anything can happen if the government's involved.
Like, they made that movie with Tom Cruise where he's like running coke for the fucking CIA, and that's like a movie, and that's a true story.
What movie's that?
It's called what the fuck is it called?
It's Made in America or Made
something like that. I think something
American Made.
No, but I'm saying, but that's a true story.
Yeah,
he was actually doing that. So it's like, it's so weird that we're like, but I'm like, he was literally running coke for the CIA, like, and that's proven. Yeah, like they've all admitted that it was true. What the fuck?
So there's a lot of people. Literally, I have 3 pages of different people who said that Johnson was conspiring to do it. There's in 84, a convicted guy named Billy Saul Estes made a statement that Johnson had inside knowledge on the death of Kennedy. Howard Hunt, who was part of Watergate, if you ever really research Watergate, he was a big figure in Watergate. He said that, he had firsthand knowledge that Johnson knew about it and allowed it to happen. there's a lot. There's a lot. I don't want to say that they're reliable sources, but there are.
But if enough people say something, like, you have to give it merit.
Yeah.
It's like you were saying, there could only be so many coincidences before it starts to like add up.
Yeah. There's another guy, political consultant, but he was also a convicted felon named Roger Stone. He believed that Johnson orchestrated Kennedy's assassination. He also claims that Rafael Cruz, who is the father of Ted Cruz, Ted Cruz.
I know Ted Cruz, my man.
Oh, yeah.
So he's the father of Ted Cruz. He was tied to Lee Harvey. Anyways, there's just
I feel there is going to be like there probably 30 to 40% of it is additional bullshit.
Yeah.
People just like adding stuff on, like just trying to get their 15 minutes of fame. Oh yeah, by the way, guess who else was involved?
Right.
They're just adding shit in there.
right. So, anyways, that's the Lyndon Johnson one.
That one, it's more believable than the Umbrella Man.
Yeah, no,
there's that.
For sure. Like, 100%.
We do have that. Yeah, we do have that.
In comparison.
Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, we'll talk about it at the end. But at the same time, I don't know. It's so hard. There's so much. It sounds like everybody's just trying to get theirs. I think Jorge
like that.
hit it on the nose. People are just trying to get theirs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and
You know what I mean? And
everyone's so
their little 15 minutes of fame.
they're so selfish, and that's why
infamy.
People have done far worse things to get power. I mean, just look at the history of the human race. It is literally, it's just strewn with just murder and fucking betrayal just to usurp power. Look, they killed Caesar, and he was a dub dude.
Right.
Granted, he became a tyrant, but whatever,
Granted.
Yeah. But hey,
Before that, he was chill.
So
super chill.
we have two more.
Before that, he was chill.
Just saying.
Dude, he had all the good vibes. Like, good
Then he
vibes
just became a tyrant.
Dude, good vibes only before he was like, I run this bitch. Live, laugh, love. Caesar.
Okay, so at a certain point in time, they sealed a lot of the government documents about JFK in the investigation. And it was a 50-year seal.
Jesus. That's a long ass seal.
But no, think about it. This is 63. So 50 years.
Oh, it's out, yeah. Well, that's the Freedom of Information Act, too. Like,
so a few years ago, a lot came out. There's a person named Mr. Donald Trump who extended that time period because he felt that it should be extended more years. Yeah. So Donald Trump extended it.
How many more years?
So I think it was 5. So now Biden has
random.
to. So I think
not
Biden.
50. We're going to do 55.
I think he just didn't want to deal.
He's like,
I think he just didn't want to deal.
I don't deal with this.
I'm already getting all this heat. Shit.
So, but some was released, and then I think it was and then the other parts were pushed forward a little bit. In 2017, 55,000 documents were released.
Whoa.
On the release.
That's not a small amount of documents.
Yeah. And it's just going to take a long time to go through all those documents.
Well, yeah.
So not a lot of things. But there are a couple things that are related to Jack Ruby that came to light that were a little bit like confusing. Or Jack Ruby is the guy who killed Oswald in the garage downstairs.
Correct.
Like in the garage. Yeah.
Club owner.
He was like a club owner. Yeah. He was a club owner. What's crazy about Jack Ruby is he wanted to be part of everything.
Yeah.
He was like hanging out at the cop station.
Now, clubs, we're talking about like strip clubs and shit,
strip
right?
clubs.
And,
Oh, yeah.
and he used to host like some of the biggest celebrities, politicians,
Mafia guys. All the
and that's
things.
where the ties, the mafia comes in with Ruby because of the company that he would keep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, I just want to say out the gate, I don't like that tie just because, for example, if you were a mob of Cincinnati, like you were the chief of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Just because you go to a strip club doesn't mean you are
affiliated
tight with the owner.
Well, I mean, how often did I go to that strip club though?
Yeah, but you're just there for the strip club. You know what I mean? You're not.
And you're like, and Jack's like over there, like, hey man, I'm like, leave me alone, bro.
And
Like,
Jack,
I'm not here for you.
No, and then later, Jack would be like, yeah, I know Sean.
He just like name drop Sean.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the drug dealer from Cincinnati? I know that motherfucker.
Yeah, I know Sean.
Name dropping is like, look, there's pictures of us. I got selfies at the titty. Like,
So you see how, like, that's how I believe he's associated with the mob.
I agree.
He's just
I agree with it. He's just a titty bar owner. Yeah.
Yes, and he's like just wants to be in the thing.
No, but it's not like Tony Soprano titty bar. It's just a regular. It's a regular titty bar.
That's right. So, but what was interesting in these documents is that, and if for those who are going to criticize us, so document 321499267.
Jesus
That's
Christ!
fucking real number.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yes. So document 321499267.
Okay.
Why is there so many numbers?
There's a lot of fucking documents. 55,000. Yeah. So it says, quote, recently, a group manager in Dallas Intelligence Division received information from a confidential informant that might be helpful in the investigation of the Kennedy assassination. The informant stated on the morning of the assassination, Ruby contacted him and asked if he would like to watch the fireworks.
Oh.
Wow.
He was with Jack Ruby and standing at the corner of the Postal Annex building that was facing the Texas School Book Depository. And that was at the time of the shooting.
That's a little.
Wow.
But I personally hate confidential informants.
I know.
I fucking hate
So
them.
later on, though, it was discovered that the informant is named Bob Vanderslice.
What a fucking fire ass name.
Just call him the rat.
The
The rat, not the
rat.
That's
Fucking
true.
snitch.
So that's Bob Vanderslice. He relayed this information to the FBI handlers in 1977, but in the document, it doesn't state why it took him 14 years to tell them.
Maybe because his last name's fucking Vanderslice.
Because for 14 years, he's like, I ain't
14
no
years.
snitch.
I know.
Yeah. And then later
Then
on, he
all of a
decided
sudden he's
to
like,
He got a
all
deal.
right.
He got arrested. He got like arrested like blowing a stop sign. He's
yeah.
like, get me off. I got something for you.
I got the right shit. Only if you let me go. I'm going to tell you what happened 15 years ago.
Confidential
So,
informant.
but the file goes on to say that as soon as this shooting occurred, Ruby turned, headed for the Dallas Morning News building, and he didn't say a single word to the guy, Vanderslice.
That's weird.
So if the
It would have
informant,
been funny if he's like, enjoy the fireworks, and he just like leaves right
Yeah.
before.
I'm out of here.
so if the informant is to be believed, so if we believe this story by Vanderslice,
Bob Vanderslice.
yeah, Ruby was among the crowd who saw JFK get shot, and he seemed to have prior knowledge of what was about to happen with his fireworks comment.
Yeah.
So conspiracy theorists tied Ruby to the assassination via organized crime. They believe the mafia are the ones behind the wider one mentioned by the House Selective Committee.
But see, I think that, like, first, there are two things on that. This on this particular one. The fireworks thing is a loose thing because, like, the fireworks would be like, hey, the president's coming. Do you want to see the fireworks? Like, the president's going to be here. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a fireworks presentation afterwards. You know, maybe like,
I know.
but they canceled it because he got fucking killed. So there's no more fireworks.
Yeah.
But the other thing is the mob, they don't want to, I don't think they'd want to be involved with something that high profile.
Yeah.
The
it
mob,
seems pretty big.
the mob
It seems pretty big.
forever has always been in the shadows. They don't want to be involved with this high profile shit. Even when, when was this was in New York and they had one of the mob bosses, Columbo, I think, was just getting super fucking political about shit and like was trying to get Italian rights and they were fucking stop it. What are you doing? Like, stop doing this. And then they end up killing him. But, you know, that's what I'm saying. I don't think the mob wants to be involved with something, the highest possible profile you can get, killing the president.
I mean, we're kind of at the end of Ruby, which is a lot of people say, oh, maybe there was mob debt and, you know, but I don't know why that would have to do with Ruby having mob debt and,
Like
you know what I mean? Like,
kill
it just doesn't
JFK
really...
for us, brother.
But Ruby died in jail from an embolism in 1967.
What was he in jail
What
for?
was it? Yeah.
Killing Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Whoops, it is he?
So,
Makes sense.
If you're gonna saw Eric's face,
Yeah.
killing Leo, like, what do you? What?
Literally. I thought we did this. We've done this for 5 hours.
Fuck? Okay.
He never did.
Yeah.
Like,
Never spilled.
I was
never
part of
spilled the tea.
something. He actually said that he lucked out on being able to enter the garage. He was like, there was no security. There was no.
It's like, let him in.
He's like, I didn't know I was going to kill him at that moment. It was just an opportunity. You were
it's sweet.
You're guy. You're right open.
You're
like,
right here.
Pop, 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 I'm going to kill you. Yeah. So he never, so anyways, and then he died in 1967 and
Yeah, and
you
that's
never
it.
know. You know what I mean?
So they have a whole wall and like a bunch of different conspiracy theories, and you were just talking about the mafia, the mob, and so it reminded me of this. And there's one theory about the Cuban government. Many people suspected that Fidel Castro or his government were behind the Kennedy assassination. Oswald was pro-Castro and attempted to visit Cuba in September 1963.
Right. No.
Disclosures during the mid-1970s that the CIA was involved in 2 plots to kill Fidel Castro, one using the mafia.
Ooh.
Okay, so the CIA was basically using the mafia to kill Fidel Castro, and suspicions that Kennedy might have been killed in retaliation.
Yeah.
So, but then it goes on to say the House committee, found no evidence of this or whatever. Like you just kind of touched on that point there before. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting. So the CIA working with the mafia.
I mean, that doesn't sound weird to me.
Exactly. You were just talking about that. That's not far-fetched.
That sounds about right.
It's weird. I mean, I do kind of think it's weird that he went to Cuba and he went, you know what I mean? He went to Mexico City, right? And all those things are weird.
And
they're weird.
Russia or
Yeah.
Soviet Union,
Yeah.
whatever.
So they're all, they
lived there
they
for
are
a while.
weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so the final conspiracy that I have here is, and I call it it was an accident conspiracy. Honestly, this might be my favorite one. Here you go. You ready?
Oopsie doopsie.
So a majority of this story or the script or whatever is taken from somebody named Daniel Arkin. He's a writer, and I just wanted to give him the credit because a majority of this written word is from him. But here's the theory of it was an accident.
I didn't mean to do it, bro.
So the theory is that after Lee Harvey Oswald fired multiple shots at the motorcade carrying Kennedy, a Secret Service agent riding in the car that was immediately behind the presidential limousine, he grabbed his Colt AR-15, his rifle, to return fire because he heard shots.
They're shooting.
So he grabs his fucking AR-15. So, but when his car stopped immediately, the theory says that Agent George Hickey, George Hickey, lost his balance,
like pulled the trigger 4 times,
accidentally discharged his weapon, sending a
flurry,
a .223 caliber.
Yeah, 223.
223 caliber.
Yeah, the 223 is a normal, normal AR caliber. That and 5.56.
So he accidentally discharged his .223 caliber round, rocketing into Kennedy's head.
God,
into his head.
Why are the adjectives? Why does it have to be rocketing?
Well, he's a writer,
I know it's a gun. Of course, it's rocketing.
Rockets into Kennedy's head, and that's the wound that killed the president.
And so this guy's like, it was Oswald. 100%.
So the idea is that Oswald was shooting.
Like, you know what? We're not cooperating with you right now.
So here's the theory: is that without script, right? The theory is Oswald shot. Oswald sucked. He missed. We already have evidence
that he missed.
We have evidence that he tried to kill somebody else
and missed from a very easy range.
So he went and he shot, and then Agent Hickey fucking freaked out.
Just trigger happy.
AR-15, and it misfired. And that was the end headshot.
Dude, that actually is probably like the most plausible.
I know, right?
Isn't that crazy?
It's probably like
a crazy theory.
It's like the most realistic theory that I could ever imagine.
Okay, so I'm just going to give you a couple minutes of maybe backup evidence on this. Okay. Okay. So 20 years ago, there's somebody named Menninger, and he wrote a book called Mortal Air, the shot that killed JFK. And it was a book that premised on the work of somebody named Howard Donahue. He was a firearms expert who in 1967 began probing the ballistic and forensic evidence. And he concluded that Hickey was the elusive second gunman.
Oh, because he was behind him.
And it was just called...
He was behind.
Yeah, and it was just friendly fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So over nearly a quarter of a century, Donahue reportedly poured over evidence, tons of evidence, and it included the locations, the diameter of the entrance of the exit wounds.
Oh,
in
shit.
Kennedy's
So he's getting like
skull,
scientific on that
the
shit.
trajectory of the and the explosive impact of the fatal bullet, the testimonies from witnesses who smelled gun smoke near the motorcade, right? And this is the grassy knoll smelling, but it's just
You know, it's
in the area.
Yeah, it's just like the
in
space.
the area. On all fronts, Menninger, the guy who
The expert. Yeah.
the evidence pointed squarely at Hickey as an accidental job.
That's crazy.
But no eyewitnesses have gone on record claiming to seen Hickey firing a shot.
Because
So-
I
No
know
Secret Service has said any of this.
They ain't gonna snitch.
Oh no,
they're never gonna snitch.
Protect your own, bro.
Yeah, but let me. I have a question.
Yeah.
So was this guy? He was in the car behind
Mhm.
the Kennedy car, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Was he one of the ones outside riding on the side, or was he inside the car? And if he was inside the car, is there any kind of
Like shell casing or like
or maybe like it,
Yeah.
it penetrated the windshield, right?
Oh,
So
maybe
you-
no, it's maybe like drop top. It's like convertible. Maybe it was like sitting up.
The one in the back was as well.
I don't know.
No, I think the one in the back was not a backdrop. The car
That's a
right
great
the car riding behind him was a regular car, and it had the what do you call it, like the side steps?
I know.
guess,
Yeah,
or-
the guys on the side. Yeah,
yeah.
That's a great question.
Hickey was seated in the car behind.
Oh, okay,
So he was not on the the side
The side
so he
steps.
shot
he
through
was-
the windshield.
Yeah, exactly.
of the car behind.
Yeah.
He
No, he
had to have-
stood up.
Oh, so it's a convertible.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it was a convertible.
Yeah,
okay.
he
Okay.
stood
Yeah,
up
we're just- okay.
and then
Oh,
pop, 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 pop.
okay.
Yeah.
So he stood up.
So, but
he pointed
again,
exactly in the right
Or
direction.
maybe it was like on a hip, like a hip fire.
yeah. yeah.
so there's 7 other people in that car. None of them testified.
They're probably all
Same.
they probably all hung themselves in a prison with the cameras off.
But none of them,
Accidentally.
none of them said shots were fired out of their car. None of them said bullets were whizzing. None of them said anything.
Dude, it's like a brotherhood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
it's
not
like you
gonna
can't,
say
you
it.
can't,
Yeah.
you
They're
can't,
not
you
gonna
can't, you
say it.
can't rat on your own.
But nonetheless, a manager book he put out the book in '92, and there you go.
I'm pretty sure
So
OJ
he-
killed
so-
Kennedy.
Yeah,
if there was reports of the gunpowder smell, like you definitely wouldn't catch a whiff from the 6th floor of the book depository
Catch a whiff.
all the way down to the grassy knoll.
Ooh,
So-
smells like gunpowder.
Yeah.
So now, just the last thing on Hickey, right?
Yeah.
Is in the Warren Commission, it said the following. Okay, in the Warren Commission, it said Special Agent George Hickey in the rear seat of the presidential follow-up car picked up and cocked an automatic rifle as he heard the final shot. At this point, the cars were speeding through the underpass and had left the scene of the shooting, but Hickey kept the automatic weapon ready as the car raced to the hospital. So the Warren Commission is just saying that he was cocked and ready.
He had it.
He stood up, cocked, ready.
But he didn't discharge.
Didn't discharge.
Hmm.
That's the end of.
I
That's
mean,
the end of the Hickey conspiracy. You know what I mean?
I mean, the
That's-
Hickey
that's-
one is like
Isn't it great?
it's
That's
a good one.
so
It's-
great.
I had never heard that one before.
I've never
It's
heard it either,
cool.
but I'm like, I can see that happening.
Yeah,
because
right?
like you're so like
I know.
you're like your fucking adrenaline's cranked.
yeah.
Like
Right?
your fingers on
it's
your fingers on the
possible.
trigger,
I know,
you
for
accidentally
sure.
pull it. Like
I know.
you don't, and it just a
I
random,
know.
it just fucking bing.
So here we are. This is the culmination of
The
of
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
both of us visiting. I mean, we visited
Book depository.
Book Depository and
Stood on the X.
all the things, and
I
we went through Lee Harvey Oswald, the Warren Commission, the conspiracies.
I mean, who's gonna
like,
go
a
first?
summary of what happened to JFK.
And the people involved, and the
Yeah,
understanding the
yeah,
the various individuals who
yeah.
because obviously it gives you when you're making it the conclusion on something, you should probably know what you're making a conclusion on,
Yeah,
not just like
yeah.
I think this or I think that.
exactly. So like,
Who wants to go?
I'll go because
Yeah.
I've got.
But I need a finite.
No, I'm going to give you
don't need a
finite.
vagary.
No.
Like, you know what I mean?
I'm going to give you finite. I'm going to give you finite.
Yeah.
I believe that Lee Harvey Oswald was Patsy. I believe Lee Harvey Oswald did fire shots at JFK.
Okay.
But I believe that
So
Lee
he
Harvey
did
Oswald
fire, though.
he was just a shitty shot. And he really wanted to be somebody, and this was his way to be somebody. And I believe that the government was intimately involved in orchestrating this. I don't know the exact person who killed JFK, but I do believe that they used Lee Harvey Oswald because he was a very easy tool to be manipulated and used. And they were, look, hey, you shoot him. But they had a contingency in play because we're going to make sure he dies, but you shoot him.
Right.
So I believe he shot, fucking whiffed, just totally biffed it, like just fucking didn't hit shit. And then the real person shot him. But I do believe the government was involved.
But who do you think pulled the trigger that killed him? Where?
Yeah,
from
so you
what
think there was
location?
another shooter?
Oh no, I think Grassy Knoll for sure.
Oh, you think?
Oh no, I think Grassy Knoll. I think I think the guy set up, propped up, easy shot, boom.
Was it,
Maybe
was
the
it,
head
was
shot
it
at
Umbrella
the
Man?
end. Maybe the head shot. At the end.
It was not Umbrella Man. I believe what happened was, I think Oswald probably got off 2 shots, fucking missed, and then homie was maybe he got
The neck one?
Maybe he got the neck one like on accident. I think the one that killed him, the one that actually went through his head, was from the Grassy Knoll, from a professional. If that was from an actual professional, because as we alluded to in the last episode, Lee Harvey Oswald had a fucking shot that my daughter can make, and he missed, and he hit the general, and he hit the windowsill. Yeah. I'm like, the dude's just sitting at his desk waiting to get killed.
It's interesting. It's interesting that story, while it should help his case of being an assassin, it doesn't because he missed
an easy shot from like 30
so now
yards.
He's got a moving target.
I know, moving target from a high angle.
What's it, 6th floor?
6th floor.
Yeah, 6th floor.
And he's probably easily, I would say, minimum 50 yards, minimum. And this other shot was 20.
It's about 50 yards or so. But we talked about it in another episode. It doesn't, once you're there, it doesn't seem
that hard. Yeah, it doesn't seem that hard.
On a non-moving target, maybe. But on a moving target, then definitely
on a moving
the level
a moving target, it's very
also,
hard.
it's easy for me to say because
we're sitting in chairs talking into microphone.
And I'm sitting these boxes are nice and comfortable. You know what I mean? I'm in a book depository. Like the books.
And the thing, he's holding the gun.
Yeah.
He's holding the gun, and then he has to reload the gun, bolt action.
Yeah.
And it's I've shot a lot of guns, and like it's different when I'm on a tripod. Yeah. And it's perfectly fucking still.
Yeah, and you also have it's a what was it, a $20 rifle,
dude? So
it's not going to be.
Is it a $20 Macy's rifle?
It's used too. I think it was used. Yeah,
$20 back then. Come on now.
It was just like the accuracy has got to be less.
I shot expensive, fucking nice rifles, dialed in scopes and everything at 50 and 100 yards, stationary on a tripod, and I'm not hitting bullseyes.
No,
and I'm a good shot.
Yeah. And if you go on our social media or our website or whatever, we'll put a picture of the rifle too. And it's one of those that has a shorter
barrel.
Really?
Yeah. Which makes it even less accurate.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah.
So a shorter barrel will make it.
Yeah, because the barrel.
But what's the point of having a short barrel?
It's more. It's just ease of use. Like it's it's like you have a
shoot
fucking
faster.
No, it's not about shooting faster. It's just about like carrying and like transport.
Oh, okay.
Because obviously, like the longer,
it's compact.
A barrel makes it out because the rifling in a barrel. Yeah. It makes the bullet spin, and the more the bullet spins, the more it won't move or deviate from its course. Okay. So if you have a longer barrel, it's gonna spin fucking more, and it's just gonna be like, bing,
yeah. Okay. All right.
Jorge, I think
give me a conclusion here, Jorge.
Yeah, so conclusion would be that there's definitely
like I come to you
more than
I come to you at a bar.
Yeah.
And I say, who killed Kennedy?
Yeah. So I would say that kind of very similar to Sean. Like it was, Lee Harvey Oswald was definitely involved. I believe that there was more people involved. Like
really?
Yes. Like a definition of a conspiracy. It was like a group of people that definitely, used him as the kind of like the patsy, the decoy, whatever. And he was definitely very emotionally politically in charge, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So he had
he was. So
so he had the motive. He's
But
the
you
perfect
believe-
patsy.
He's the perfect Patsy.
But you believe he shot?
I believe he shot. I
Like
believe
he shot the Mannlicher.
Yes.
Whether or not he killed him, whatever.
I don't
but,
think he killed him at all.
He shot from the window.
I mean, I think it's possible that he hit him once.
I think
right?
I think he might have hit him.
Maybe not
I
the
don't
kill
think,
shot.
I don't think
though.
he killed him
I don't
at
think
all.
he did the
Okay.
kill shot.
No
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
Hitting at that, and
So
especially
you kind of like
especially because look, if you look at the video when he gets shot and his fucking head explodes, it's this way.
It's that way.
not like if you're shooting from the 6th floor, your head doesn't blow up up
yeah.
like that way. It would go down. It would like blow his fucking jaw off. That's what I'm saying.
No, I mean you're not
6th
wrong.
floor, bro. 6 stories up. Okay, a story is
You're not
what?
wrong, but you're trying to find like a perfect angle.
No, but I'm
that
saying a-
correlates with the 6th floor and the way his head exploded and all that.
I
shit.
know.
Okay,
Like, I can't speak
listen,
on
Jorge.
that. I can't speak on that.
One story is 12 feet. So 6, so that's 60. That's like 80 feet.
80 feet.
You're like 80 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And you're gonna mean to tell me that like if I shoot you from 80 feet, even at a distance, your head's gonna fucking explode?
But no,
Forward?
I'm not. Oh, it's gonna explode. I'm just saying, like you're trying to tell me it's gonna explode on the left side.
No,
of,
no,
yeah.
no. The trajectory of a bullet would be
But also
downward.
the guy Connolly got there. This is the magic bullet.
right.
It's not just his head exploded, but there's another bullet that
Oh,
went.
no,
That
the
was-
bullet
that
that went
was the first
all the
time.
way
That was
through
the
his
That was the
one.
first
I
one.
think that's
I
the
know.
The one
first
that
one.
went through his.
That was
I know,
neck.
but I mean,
That
like,
was the Lee Harvey Oswald dumb luck bullet.
Yeah, like it went seven,
Like fucking-
seven ways.
that's the one I
That's the
think
Lee
it was-
Harvey
I
Oswald dumb luck bullet just ricocheted through his
Yeah.
body.
And you know what's funny? When I was there in Dallas, in that in that area there, there's other buildings that had even a better vantage point.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're
Oh,
called,
yeah,
but
the
they're like the buildings
Postal
right
Annex
next to it.
building did.
I think that's
Yeah,
one of
the
them. And then
one
there's
across the
another
street,
one.
yeah.
And there's another one kind of like
Totally.
what do you
Like,
call
were
it?
you
Corner.
there?
Well, Lee Harvey
Yeah.
Oswald couldn't get hired by them because he's got the worst
Maybe.
resume on the history of mankind.
Maybe, yeah.
But you don't need to be hired if you're just gonna go in there, just to do this assassination.
No, but you're gonna walk in with a rifle and you're like, "Yeah, go ahead to the 6th floor.
Yeah.
Come right in, walk right in, sir." Like fucking-
Okay, so you
So I
think,
think there
if you had
was-
to summarize,
I think that
He shot.
probably took the first shot.
Yeah.
I think there was definitely another person in the grassy knoll area that had the kill shot, and that they, that there's probably a group of them that were just conspiring on how to, pull.
group?
Yes, I would say probably 4 of them. We just went over on the whole Oliver Stone conspiracy theory or
of
whatever.
like helped them. I'm not saying that
Government.
like that they all shot.
No,
But, like, they-
but they were involved in
Yeah,
the
they were all
planning,
involved planning.
Yeah,
the planning and
yes.
the execution.
They
of
made
the
they made the Secret Service like be lacking. They did whatever.
That,
Took-
exactly.
yeah.
That's what I think. man.
Interesting. Okay.
What about you? Eric's like, Lee Harvey Oswald killed him. There was no conspiracy at all.
So I have a lot. So
It's got to be concise, Eric. It's got to be concise. It's got to be clear,
Yeah.
concise.
That was your
dandelions.
words.
The dandelions.
Those are your words, sir.
No, I have a lot. There's a lot of things that I don't like about the whole story that I don't like. So I don't like that he chose to shoot on the way out. So
Oh, that's right. You could have
So-
shot him in the face.
yeah,
Like-
so you were at the depository,
Yeah.
and you can see, I think it's Elm Street or whatever the street is.
The one he turns left on is
Yeah, so he's coming at him.
Yeah.
I would have taken that shot,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
directly. Like you just look him in the eyes and shit. Like
right?
It seems like a better shot.
And
yeah.
you
it's
have,
a way
you
better
have more
shot,
time.
right?
more time, way more
You
time.
have more time.
And the motion's not
I
against
don't
you.
get that.
The motion's
I really
not
don't
against
get that.
you.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, maybe I chalk it up to nerves and
I can't look him in the face when I kill him.
yeah,
But
like
let me say
I-
this, like
yeah.
if just to make I guess the other side of the argument,
Yeah.
then he would have been found out a lot easier because the other way around, it's like nobody's
'Cause he would have
looking
given
at
away
it.
his
Oh,
position.
they're like
Yeah.
it came from
Kind of like,
ahead.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
okay.
that's not bad.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think he was that smart though. By the way.
No fucking way. The
Oh,
guy,
I mean,
the longest job
He
he,
was
had
probably
was
like
6
just-
months.
He was probably
Yeah.
just freaking out. He's like, "Oh my god, I can't do this." And
no. I think so. I don't like that. I don't like the Oliver Stone story at all. I think they're all fucking losers. I think Ferry's a loser. I think
David
Shaw's a
Ferry's- yeah.
loser. I think they're all. I think they're all losers, just kind of like,
yeah,
look, I really want to be part of this. And,
they're not smart enough to
like
do it.
maybe they fucking moved a box and then they think they're part of something, and I just don't like any of it. I think it's a far-fetched whatever. I think Oswald shot. I think he shot, and there's a door that is open within my mind that there was some help.
I actually just thought of something.
Just
Does that make sense? Just a little bit of a door, but like everything, there's nothing that says that he got help.
Well, that's why we're talking about it.
there
Otherwise,
is.
it wouldn't be a conspiracy
I know,
if it was
but
just like
after all
open and
this,
shut
You
case.
didn't see the acoustics pointed at 2 shots.
All of this. There's nothing that says.
Well, Eric, I literally just thought of something that's probably gonna shed
it's
some
gonna
light on
blow
this.
my mind.
All right, because I remember I think it was in episode 1 or maybe episode 2 that I asked you when they released the route that he was going to take, and it was like
like a few days.
Yeah, it was a few days
a
before.
week maybe.
Yeah,
max.
a week prior.
Yeah,
and so Lee Harvey Oswald had worked at the book depository for what, like 2 months, 3 months, something like that. He was
not
there.
even. Yeah. No,
Yeah, so like
a month maybe.
But he had worked there before they released this route.
Yes.
So he couldn't plausibly have known that this would be the place that he would shoot JFK at. And the odds of it being a random coincidence that he happens to work at this place that is exact vantage point to shoot the president is 0.
Yeah.
So who would know what the route would be before they release the route? Maybe somebody in the government?
That's true.
Perhaps.
That's true. Well, I will give you this.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I think Oswald killed John F. Kennedy.
I know.
No, I know, but let me give
But no
mine.
one cares what you think.
No, let me give mine. I think Oswald killed John F. Kennedy. I am uncertain if he had assistance to do it.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm unsure
I understand.
if maybe
Take a stance.
there was. No, I'm saying he killed him. Like that's my stance.
I know,
I
I know.
believe
I'm
all the
fucking with
evidence
you.
points to him shooting, fingerprints, gun, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Witnesses him there. He took the shots. There is no other actual evidence that shows anything else happened. But the assistance, the Russia scenario, the
Cubans.
he had a perfect
fucking-
spot. Like
yeah.
all of that is just kind of a little strange to maybe he was supported.
assisted
Yeah, maybe
in
he
the
was
killing
supported
of.
in it.
But I do think, and one of the
But you have a doubt about it.
I have a doubt.
But see,
Yeah,
one of the-
I do have a doubt. But it's like a 2% down.
But see, one of the
Okay,
things that
2%.
2,
That's not much.
3%.
one of the
Yeah.
things that resonated
Yeah.
with me was the fact that Lee Harvey Oswald himself says he was a patsy.
I know.
Because
I
he's
know.
the type of guy that be like,
I know.
did it.
So no,
I'm the
so,
man.
So here's a theory. Here's a theory that
He would
I
have loved the limelight. Like, he would have loved it.
Here's a theory that I've concocted over this whole experience.
Concocted.
Yeah,
like
created. Yeah.
He just do it because it's
My theory is that my theory is that maybe he did want to kill Kennedy, and he wanted to assassinate him. Right?
Yeah, totally
And then
possible.
he reached out to all his fucking
All his
dumb,
homies.
dumb. Like he emailed them or no?
There's no
emailed,
He emailed.
he wrote them letters.
Sent him a
He wrote
text.
them letters and and maybe he did he recruited
Get his
like he
homies
got
involved.
yes he got help essentially.
So he
For
basically kind of was maybe even bragging.
No, and
Like,
then what
I'm
happened
gonna-
is
this
he got
shit's gonna go
they
down.
backed out. They backed out, and then something happened, and then he's like, "I'm a fucking patsy," because they abandoned him.
So I'm taking the fall alone.
Yes.
But he's the type of guy that would want to.
Yeah.
He literally
like,
told
why
the
would
Russians, he's like, fuck USA, baby.
Why would he say, "I am a patsy"?
Meaning that
Because
he
he
was,
was,
because he
maybe?
was played.
For what? So he must have done something
Oh, no.
to get played.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think, like I told you, I think
Yeah.
he took a shot, but I think he fucking missed, and then he got killed, and he was probably like, what? And he probably took a shot and was like, fuck,
Like
I
I thought
missed.
we were on a team.
Yeah, and he's like,
Yeah,
fuck,
I
I
thought we were
missed,
on,
and
like,
I killed.
teams.
And they're like,
Yeah.
he didn't. He was like, what?
Like the
I didn't
idea,
even kill him,
like
bro.
the idea is us three go, hey, we're gonna do this, right? Sean's got to be down on the grassy knoll. He's gonna take the shot. Jorge is gonna be on the fucking postal annex.
I'm gonna
Or
be
like-
waving an umbrella.
Yeah, he's gonna be in the black umbrella. That's right. And I'm gonna be in the book depository, right? And at the end, there's actually a great analogy, or a great similar story is the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. I'm gonna tell you that whole story on another podcast.
Yeah.
But there were 3 other conspirators who backed out.
Oh, and they're like, can't do it.
And they were just supposed to kill the other cabinet members.
Oh, and
And
Wilkes
they
Booth
fucking backed out.
And Wilkes Booth's like, yeah, I did
Yes.
it. And he's like, where are the other shots?
Yes.
Like, fuck.
What they wanted to do was take down the entire
The
government.
entire regime. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
Damn.
So Booth could have said, I'm a patsy because, or not patsy, but like I was abandoned by my homies.
Yeah, abandoned. But if you actually look up what a patsy means,
is.
I'm going to do this real quick. A patsy is a person who is easily taken advantage of, especially by being cheated or blamed for something.
Yeah, it's different.
So it's like you're taking advantage of. It's not like I got bailed on my dogs.
Well, I don't really know if he knew the Merriam-Webster's version of what it means. Yeah. Anyways, all I'm saying is that maybe you know, he felt abandoned by other people that he was conspiring.
That's a totally. I understand that. That's a viable thought. It's a viable thought. I really want to hear what you guys think. I really want to know what your theories are. And actually, if a good theory, if a good theory comes up, we'll give you a plug.
Yeah,
I'll plug.
But let's talk about it. You don't need to leave
an episode. For
Yeah,
you.
you don't need to leave
cuss us out.
Yeah, you don't need to leave a 1-star review and be like, you suck. Let's actually try to have a logical conversation about it and see maybe if we can come to some sort of better conclusion. All right, guys, that's what we got. JFK.
Yes. So, please
hate us, love us. I don't know what to say. Those are our opinions.
Just
keep listening.
Just interact with us. Like, God, like, we just want to talk to you.
Somebody talk to me.
Please, I'm so sick of these two assholes. All right, guys, catch you next one. All
Thanks
right?
for hanging out, guys.
See ya. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the show. If you want to reach out to us, please email us at info@theconspiracypodcast.com. You can check us out on Instagram at @aconspiracypodcast. Also, don't forget to subscribe. You can catch a new podcast almost every week. Just hit the little subscribe button at the top. It's a plus sign. We love show ideas, corrections, hate mail. Thanks a bunch.